On today's menu, a simple recipe that's a piece of cake. A delicious yaki onigiri. Place 1 cup of sushi rice into a small saucepan. Rinse and drain the rice 2 to 3 times to get rid of the excess starch. One cup water. Heat up the rice on medium-high heat. When the water begins to bubble, give the rice a good stir. Turn the heat to medium-low, then cover and cook for 15 minutes. Canned chickpeas. Rinse and drain the chickpeas with some water. Half cup chickpeas. A splash of toasted sesame oil. Pinch of salt. A pinch of crushed chili flakes. Use a fork to mash up the chickpeas.
Really nice and easy. Now we're just gonna make that really simple miso flavoring.
1 tablespoon miso paste. 1 teaspoon cane sugar. Splash of toasted sesame oil. 1 teaspoon rice vinegar. A couple tablespoons hot water. Mix and combine well. After 15 minutes, turn the heat off and let the rice steam further for another 10 minutes. Transfer the rice to a mixing bowl. One tablespoon sesame seeds. Mix. Divide the rice into 4 equal portions. Have a sheet of parchment paper ready. Have your hands damp with some water so the rice won't stick to them. Then place 1 portion of the rice on your hand and gently flatten. Scoop about a tablespoon of the chickpea filling into the center of the rice. Fold the rice into the filling and shape into a puck. Don't be afraid to use some firm pressure. Repeat with the other portions of rice until you have 4 delicious looking pillows. You can try different ingredients for a new filling every time.
Those look amazing already, and if you love easy and delicious recipes like that, then definitely check out or pick up your copy of one of the 3 Young Men Cooking cookbooks. This has most of the favorite recipes from the cooking show here on YouTube. You can take a sneak peek inside or order your copy, digital or print, in the link in the description box below. Now, let's get cooking.
Non-stick pan. Medium heat. A drizzle of avocado oil. Carefully place in the rice balls. Spoon over some of the miso mixture onto the rice. Carefully flip and sear for about a minute. Spoon on some of the miso mixture on the other side. Carefully flip again and sear for another minute. Careful not to sear for too long, for the rice can burn. Plate. Garnish with some green onions. And a sprinkle of sesame seeds. You can now enjoy these delicious onigiris with absolute confidence. Preheat the oven to 375. Carefully chop in half a medium-sized buttercup squash. Scoop out the seeds to discard or use in other recipes. Quarter the halves and carefully peel the skin. The squash will add a lovely earthiness and sweetness to the congee. Remember, you can use any other squash you prefer, it'll be just as tasty. Carefully chop into small cubes. Transfer the squash to a large mixing bowl.
You definitely won't need this much squash for today's congee recipe, but might as well roast them all, or you can multiply the congee recipe to make a bigger batch.
Drizzle of avocado oil, pinch of salt, fresh cracked pepper to taste, about a tablespoon of maple syrup. Toss. Spread the squash onto a baking tray lined with parchment paper. Bake in the oven for about 35 minutes. Four pieces of garlic, roughly chopped. One cup jasmine rice. Rinse and drain the rice 2 to 3 times to get rid of the excess starch. For today's congee, we'll be using about 8 to 9 cups of water. Stock pot. Medium heat. 1 tablespoon avocado oil. Garlic. Saute for about 2 minutes. It's helpful to have the hot water ready so we're not adding cold water into the congee. Rice. 1 teaspoon salt. Saute the garlic and rice for 3 to 4 minutes. Keep stirring the rice until it just starts to stick to the pan. One cup hot water. Stir and cook the rice for 4 to 5 minutes. Add another cup of hot water. Switch out to a whisk and give the pot a good stir. Using the whisk will help the rice break down faster and become nice and creamy. Add another 2 cups of hot water. You can top off the kettle and boil some more water if needed. Continue to stir the congee for 4 to 5 minutes. The more you stir the rice, the faster it'll break down. Add another 1 to 2 cups of hot water. Continue whisking the congee.
The best part about congee is you can add whatever fixings or flavorings you like. In this episode, we're already using the buttercup squash, which is going to give it that really hearty, sweet, earthy flavor. Then we're going to add some delicious, leafy green kale.
Remove the kale leaves from the stems. About 75 grams of fresh kale, roughly chopped. Add the kale into the congee. Stir. And stir some more. 2 more cups of hot water. Stir. You can transfer half of the squash into the congee or all of it. It's completely up to you. Give the pot a good stir. You can add another cup of water to thin it out if it's too thick. Plate the congee generously. Couple tablespoons of roasted and salted pumpkin seeds. A splash of soy sauce.
Boy, that smells amazing already, but this would not be Young Man Cooking complete without the use of some chili oil I made in a previous episode. It'll add that really savory, smoky, salty, spicy flavor to this congee. I'll leave a link in the description box below for you to check this out. Make this really easily at home.
Drizzle over about a tablespoon of chili oil. You can now enjoy this delicious congee with absolute confidence. Pour 2.5 cups of veggie stock into a small saucepan. Medium-high heat.
The purpose of heating up that veggie stock is so that we're not adding cold liquid to when we go to cook the risotto.
One onion, finely chopped. Two pieces of garlic, finely chopped.
These guys here are beautiful oyster mushrooms. You can definitely use any mushrooms you like. I'm just going to use these ones for today.
Roughly chop about 50 grams of oyster mushrooms.
One more thing, we're going to be using these beautiful clustered cherry tomatoes that are still on the vine. Just absolutely visually stunning, and they're really deliciously sweet as well. I only use these for special occasions like when we cook together.
Place a small cluster of cherry tomatoes onto a baking sheet. About 3 should be good for 1 portion. Saute pan. Medium heat. A couple tablespoons olive oil. Mushrooms. Saute the mushrooms for a few minutes. Season with salt and fresh cracked pepper. Saute the mushrooms for another minute. Transfer the sauteed mushrooms onto the baking sheets and spread them out. Slightly score the cherry tomatoes.
Slicing the tomatoes a little bit will actually help prevent it from just exploding in the oven when you go to bake those tomatoes. Now, it looks a little bit strange to put so little ingredients in such a big pan because I'm just making this recipe for myself today. However, if you multiply this recipe, if you're making it for more people, you can definitely do that and it'll work out really well.
Add another couple of tablespoons of olive oil to the saute pan. Onions. Saute the onions for 3 to 4 minutes. Garlic. Saute for another minute. Half cup arborio rice. Saute for 2 to 3 minutes. Season with salt and pepper. And add a pinch of saffron. Give the pan a good stir. Deglaze with a 1/4 cup of white wine or water. Stir and cook for a couple of minutes. Add about a half cup of the hot veggie stock. Stir and cook for a couple of minutes. As you stir, you'll start to see the rice absorb the liquid. Repeat this process, adding about half a cup of veggie stock at a time. Place the mushrooms and the tomatoes in the oven and broil on low for 5 to 8 minutes. Be sure to keep an eye on them so they won't burn.
I just love making risotto. I find something almost meditative about it.
As you stir and cook the rice, it'll become nice and creamy. Turn the oven off. Add about a 1/4 cup of your favorite plant-based cheese. In this episode, I'm using a brand called Violife. If the risotto looks too thick, add a little bit more veggie stock and give it a good stir. Remember to taste the rice and check for doneness. Plate the risotto. Don't forget about the veggie toppings. Place on top the mushrooms and the blistered tomatoes. Garnish with fresh parsley, freshly cracked pepper, and a couple dabs of your best olive oil. You can now enjoy this delicious risotto with absolute confidence.
It's recipes like this that's just delicious and makes it so simple to make this on repeat. boy, that is just bursting with incredible, extraordinary flavor. Visually, this dish is amazingly stunning. It's so alluring with that beautiful glow from that saffron. Then you have this deliciously creamy texture from the rice, but still a al dente bite. If you mix around the mushrooms and the blistered tomatoes, it adds this extraordinary combination of flavors. There's that deliciously earthy umami from the mushrooms that are also caramelized, that has this nice smoky char. The blistered tomatoes add a little bit of that smoky char as well as this really nice sweetness, and it adds up into this dynamic range of flavors. The fresh parsley adds that pop of green color and a little bit of that freshness. You also taste a hint of that cheesiness that was stirred in and melted into this risotto. Same goes with the onion and the garlic that just combines everything together. This is definitely one of those heartwarming, comforting dishes that's simple to put together, stunning, beautiful, and easy enough to make on a weekly repeat. Like I always say on the channel, it's simple, delicious, exciting recipes like this that makes it so much fun to cook at home and turn your very own kitchen into an amazing restaurant. If you love easy and delicious recipes like that, then definitely pick up your copy, or take a peek inside one of the 3 Young Men Cooking cookbooks. You can also check out the Young Men Cooking merch or plant-based sushi masterclass. I'll leave a link in the description box below for you to check that out, or you can visit youngmencooking.com. If you're not already subscribed with that notification bell clicked, definitely do so you won't miss a single episode.